Ladies and gentlemen, it's my honor and privilege to introduce today's speaker, Mr. DongJin, who's going to speak on Hulbert, a truly crusade for Korea, especially in an attempt to preserve sovereign integrity of a declining Korean kingdom in late 1800 and early 1900. Hulbert was also founding member of the Royal Asiatic Society Korea branch. He was the honorary secretary. Also, he drafted the constitution of the Royal Asiatic Society, and he also contributed articles to our annual transactions. Mr. DongJin worked in the banking industry for over 30 years, mainly with the J.P. Morgan Chase Bank, as well as Korea Exchange Bank as a chief operating officer. While he was attending college, he read The Passing of Korea, one of the main books written by Hulbert, and I think he fell in love with him. He took on a lifelong task of ensuring a place for Dr. Hulbert in the annals of Korean history. Mr. Kim visited numerous places, including Dartmouth College, Columbia University, in search of Dr. Hulbert's footprints. He located all the descendants of Dr. Hulbert and collected from them important letters, books, records, pictures, and personal effects related to Dr. Hulbert. Mr. Kim is currently chairman of the Hulbert Memorial Society, devoting much of his time, efforts, and money for this noble cause. So without further ado, let's welcome Mr. Kim with a big round of applause.
Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Thank you, Chairman Chang. Okay. I think many of you, probably know the name of Dr. Hulbert, but many of you do not know really who Dr. Hulbert is, because he was a very close friend of Peter Underwood's great grandpa, Horace Underwood, and also he was a very close friend of missionary, Appenzeller. So they were three gentlemen, almost same age, and they were very close. Four important Americans at the early age of American arrivals in Korea in the 1880s. One more person was Allen, Dr. Allen, Horace Allen. But Horace Allen was also a missionary. However, he's slightly different character from the other three gentlemen. Horace Underwood and Henry Appenzeller and Homer Hulbert. And out of three, Underwood and Appenzeller, they really focused on, preaching Christianity in this country. The Homer Hulbert, he came here, as an educator, so he's slightly different. Homer Hulbert, I will explain to you later. He also, the heart contains all the Christianity. However, he's slightly different. His role was slightly different. But for Americans, those three gentlemen really, the hidden heroes for Korea. So I'm going to introduce one of three heroes to you tonight. And thank you for the opportunity to RAS. Okay. As Chairman Chang said, Dr. Hulbert also founding director of this RAS, Korea branch, and he really likes writing, and so he contributed so many articles to newspapers and journals like that. So also he likes, writing constitution of certain organization, not only this RAS, also or YMCA, because he wrote the constitution of YMCA as well. Okay. So I call him man of justice, integrity, and humanity. That you will see later why I call him like that. Next. Let me introduce his personal background slightly. He was born in 1863. Peter, your great-grandfather, 59. Yeah, that is 59, so 4 years the difference. And he was born in Vermont. Then 1863, there was a civil war in the United States. And he went to St. John, the Johnsbury Academy, and Dartmouth. This is very especially related to him. And he was also, he attended after this school, Union Theological Seminary in New York. Now this is annexed to Columbia University. And this is 3-year the seminary. Then after 2 years, he left for Korea in 1886. So Appenzell and Underwood, they came to Korea in 1885, 1 year just earlier than Dr. Hulbert. And his father was the Protestant minister, and also later he was he served as the president of Middlebury College. And his mother was great, granddaughter of the founder of Dartmouth. So he has the blood from Christianity and also education. And I like family precept. Character is more fundamental than victory. I introduced this precept to Koreans. They are impressed with this. So he, of course, very passionate for everything and very adventurous as well. Okay. Next. This is the picture of Homer Hulbert at the graduation of college. I found this picture in Dartmouth library. That was sealed in the envelope. Then I discovered this. I brought this to Korea. Next. This is just one of pictures for your eye shopping. This is his father, his mother. This is Homer Hulbert and his wife. Okay. And then brothers. Okay. So how he came to Korea? I'll show you what had happened between Korea and the United States. First encounter was 1866. This was also North Korea. Suncheon-po, this is also North Korea. The ship surprise landed in North Korea, and they Pyongan-namdo, and they returned safely. They were well treated by Koreans. And June, and after a couple of months, August, General Sherman, anchored, Daedong-gang in Pyongyang, and actually, eventually, they demanded the opening of Korea, but Korean, court, Seoul government, they said no, we do not like to deal with Americans. So they asked this ship leave Pyongyang, but they didn't leave. So actually, this ship burnt out, and all crews, all the people got killed here. North Korea. If you visit North Korea, they talk about this still. Okay, and 1866, Admiral Sheffield, came to Korea to invest. Not Korea. They came to Japan. To China, and to investigate, this General Sherman case. And 1875, there was this was a big war actually in Gangwado. You can see where it is. U.S. Navy ship was dispatched to retaliate, and they had war. So, according to Korean history, you do not know the exact number, but close to 1,000 Koreans got killed, while just one U.S. Navy soldier, killed this war. And in 1880, Admiral Sheffield again came to China and to arrange certain diplomatic tie with Joseon, Korea. So after that, 1882, Korea-U.S. treaty was signed, and 1883, ratified by Congress, and the first U.S. legation, ambassador arrived to Korea. His name is Lucius Foot. Okay, and 1883 actually, Korean delegation, which is called Bobingsa, they left for United States to see what kind of country it is, the United States. So when they returned, they suggested to Korean king, we need schools like the American style school in Korea. So Dr. Hulbert was supposed to come to Korea in 1884 to be the teacher of first Korean modern school. But this school program was postponed. There was a coup in 1884, military, sort of similar to military coup. So this project has been postponed 2 years. So he eventually came 1886. But 1884, Horace Allen, he came to Korea, and first Protestant missionaries Underwood, Appenzeller, they came in 1885. And Mr. Hulbert, came to Korea in 1886. This is Korea-U.S. treaty. If you look at this, still it reads, Kingdom of Joseon, C-H-O-S-E-N, at the time, United States of America and Joseon. This is the first treaty. So which means like until that time, Korean history and all Korean things were studied by only Japanese, and Japanese, they delivered all the their studies to Western countries. So that's why Joseon was not called C-H-O-S-U-N or whatever, but Joseon. Joseon is the Japanese pronunciation of Joseon. Okay, next. And this is the Yugyong Gongwon is we call it Royal College because this is the first modern school in Korea. Of course, like Mr. Underwood, missionary Underwood and Appenzeller, they started school 1885. However, there was just one-person school, two-person school like that. This was official school. 35 students studied, and 3 teachers from the United States came, including Dr. Hulbert. And this school is historically very, very important school. This is the first U.S.-Korea joint project. Okay, and so he arrived 1886, July 4th. And the 35 elite Korean students, those students are who passed the special exam. In Korean, we call it Hague, like a high-ranking official. If you pass that exam, that you become a high-ranking official. So those guys were students. So this was very, very important school. Next. And this is Deoksu-gung. This is one of the pictures I'm having. Deoksu-gung, the wall, you can see that's being built. And here, that Yugyong Gongwon placed, and Dr. Hulbert house around here. Okay, Underwood house around here. Okay, next. This is, I got this from Dr. Hulbert's autobiography, and he lived over here. And this is Cheongdong. This is Deoksu-gung. You come along this wall of the palace. This is and here Underwood orphanage that this says, and Paget, the Methodist school, like that. It's almost the same. The U.S. legation, U.S. legation office over here. So what he did for first 5 years was really he devoted himself to teaching. However, also he did studying Korean. So say what he studied: Korean language and Korean heritage and Korean culture and Korean tradition for first 5 years. So one thing we should understand: he published the book Saminpilchi, the first textbook in Korean language. In Korean history, Korean language, Hangul, Korean alphabet, was invented by King Sejong in 1446. So this time, 1890, 444 years later, until that time, there were some Korean books, but that is not really book, 2-page book, 3-page book, and those books were read by just housewives, not government officials at all, not in schools. But this was the first textbook in Korean language. This is the Saminpilchi. This is the book. He had written. And this is all, stars. This is all. And this is also Europe geography. And this explains what the earth is and what the world is. So this book is why this book is so important to Korea. This first textbook in Korean language. Ironically, Korean textbook is written by foreigner, not Korean. Okay, and of course, his great-grandfather, the Horace Underwood, he was very good at Korean Hangul. And Underwood and Hulbert, his great-grandfather, they lived in the same house because they were single until his great-grandfather married first. His grandfather married earlier than Dr. Hulbert. So they studied Korean together. So his great-grandfather focused on dictionary, and Mr. Hulbert focused on education. Okay, so, and after reading this book, Koreans became knowing, what the Western country is. So from that time, Koreans are motivated to go out of the country. That's why immigration started from there. So in 1907, 1903, the big Korean people, many Korean people left for Hawaii like that. But even before then, some left for the United States and Europe because of this book. That's why this book is being registered as the national treasure right now. The original, I have one, the original, and in Hague High School there are 2 originals right now. So those 3 books will be registered in Korean government as Korean treasures. I got this picture from Dr. Hulbert's grandson. This is Westgate, actually. This is Inwangsan. I think from Southgate side that the picture was taken. That's this is Namdaemun Southgate about 1900. This was. This is the original book I show you. Okay. And the Dr. Hulbert, he said over here, this means Chosun Yugyong Gyosa Hulbert. So I am the teacher of Yugyong Gongwon, and what he said over here, in Koreans, you guys stupid. Why you do not use Korean? This is his message over here. If you had used Korean alphabet right after the invention of Korean alphabet in 15th century, you would have gotten greater blessing. So that's what he's saying over here in effect. Okay, next. And okay, next. And after 5 years, the teaching at Yugyong Royal College, he went back to United States, and then he spent 1 year in the Ohio, and again because he couldn't miss really he missed Korea, so he couldn't stay in the United States. So Horace Underwood, he suggested a good job in the United States, but he decided to come to Korea. So at the time he comes as Methodist missionary. So that's why also with Appenzella and trilingual press. Many of you know what the trilingual press. This is publication company of the Methodist Church, and also Baldwin Church, Dongdaemun Eastgate Church. He was also a minister there. And this is one picture. Some of you already have seen it, and this is Methodist meetings. This is Appenzella, Hulbert, and this is Mrs. Hulbert. So this is Methodist meeting. Okay. And so now, from now on, I will talk to you about what he really accomplished for Korea. He's, we call him a pioneer of modern education because he, as a first teacher in Korea, he constituted this RAS. He wrote the RAS constitution, same as Korean school rules, regulations. Also he had a textbook series, named Hulbert series. So many textbooks were written at the time in the name of Hulbert series, like that. And his importance, he always emphasized Koreans that, what is your solution to really survive or to prosper? He said education only means for civilization. And also later he said to win against Japan, education. So now many people in Korea, they really value his spirit on education. Next. This is one of the pictures he's teaching at currently Gyeonggi High School. Gyeonggi High School, the best high school is known. It has been for 100 years like that. So teaching there, and also there is only one answer. Must bend herself to task of educating the people up to a point. So really, he emphasized the education. Next. And also now, since the King Sejong, who invented Korean alphabet, who is the next, contributor to Korean alphabet? Ju Si-kyung, that's another scholar, who developed the Korean alphabet. But between Ju Si-kyung and this King Sejong, now this Hulbert is placed right now, because the Hulbert, Ju Si-kyung was the student of Dr. Hulbert in Hague High School, and Ju Si-kyung was influenced by this book. So that's why he became great Hangul scholar, Ju Si-kyung. So now Dr. Hulbert is placed between King Sejong and Ju Si-kyung, and Seoul city government is going to erect a statue. I'll explain to you later, Dr. Hulbert. So just think like that. He was the linguist as well. He said Korean language also, or Korean surpassed English as a medium for public speaking. He wrote this to U.S. Smithsonian Institution. There was an annual report. Still, I think you guys in the United States making annual report, and which is submitted to U.S. Congress. Then he contributed an article, and that's what he said over the Korean surpassed English. The linguist and also the Korean alphabet expert. And This is about 115 years ago. He wrote this kind of thesis. See, look at that. Chinese characters and alphabet, Korean, Yidu. I mean, even currently actively working scholars, I don't think they could write this kind of thesis. This is the comparison of Korean with Chinese characters and Yidu and Japanese like that. How deeply he was involved in the language study. This tells. Okay, this is the U.S. annual report. I got this from the United States. As a missionary, I said mediator between Methodist and Presbyterian as friend of Underwood and Appenzeller. This is his major role. Presbyterian and Methodist. And according to his autobiography, he baptized for the first time in Korea with Horace Underwood. Horace was at the time, by the law, you couldn't baptize anyone. If you got spotted, you got killed, almost killed at the time. And Underwood was giving service to baptize, and Hulbert was, watch guard, outside the room. That's what he explained. So Underwood and Hulbert, they both were baptized in Korea. And one thing, okay, he is also the chairman, the founding committee of YMCA. So that's another thing. Of course, like Underwood was also, founding director of the YMCA. Okay, and as a missionary, one thing he's different from, I say, many others, because U.S. Presbyterian headquarters and Methodist headquarters, they asked missionaries in U.S. missionaries in Korea, never involved in politics. Then Dr. Hulbert said, no, we have to do something. What is the Christianity? If missionaries wish to remain in Korea to teach Christianity, what then was Christianity to teach? That's what he has said. So, from that time, he strongly stood up against Japan. This is one of the service pamphlet for Americans in Seoul, 1896. If you look at, I got this from Columbia University Library, this pamphlet. Over here, arrangements, Dr. Hulbert, also here, Appenzeller, and I think there was Underwood for here, address Underwood like that. So on July 4th, the Independence Day, they had a service like this in Seoul. So I saw this pamphlet in Columbia University. That's why I picked this from Columbia University, just for fun. And now, one thing Dr. Hulbert is rising nowadays, because he made a musical notes of Arirang in 1896, the first time in Korean history. Korean traditional music, we had music. However, we didn't have a musical notes until 1896. So actually, Dr. Hulbert, he did many things the first in Korea. And this is one of one of the first. So he at the time, wrote a thesis, Korean vocal music, where he made a musical notes. Just listen to what Korean sings and made a musical notes. He's genius in even in music. Okay. Okay, and also he wrote a number of dramas and also this this kind of Korean folklore books. The Face in the Mist. This is about the Jeju Island, and so he was also a writer, journalist, novelist. But I can't explain more. Okay, next. So this is the Arirang. Even yesterday, one of Korean TVs featured about this. Even yesterday. Okay, next. And also he was a historian. 1905, the history of Korea. Actually, he said that he completed this 1900 and 1886 he came to Korea. So in 15 years, this is about 900 pages. Do you believe this? 900 pages Korean history. This was the first comprehensive Korean history book. And next year, right next year, the passing of Korea, everything about the Korea. And I'm going to bring this to you gentlemen. Joseon, the North Korea still calls themselves Joseon. South Korea, we call it 대한민국, 한국. But Joseon means like morning come. Many people, Korean air, you can see the magazine, the morning come like that. But Hulbert had resisted to that. Joseon means morning radiance, radiant morning. And this is the exact translation of this Joseon. Morning come is not close, but not 100% translation, correct translation. Okay. This is History of Korea, 2 books. He wrote this. And next. This is Emperor Gojong, and this is the book, The Passing of Korea. He said dedicated to His Majesty, the Emperor of Korea, and to the people, to the Korean people. This book. Okay. What he had done in relation to Korean independence, I'm going to highlight just several things. One is, this is with his great-grandfather, Horace Underwood, and another Canadian, who is this?
Gale? James Garth Gale?
No, not Gale. Canadian. I can't remember. Okay, actually, he came later, the Canadian medical doctor, missionary. Okay, so Underwood and Hulbert and one Canadian medical missionary, the 3 gentlemen, they went to Gyeongbokgung over here because 1895 Korean queen was assassinated by Japanese. So Korean king was scared every night, so he couldn't sleep. So the Underwood, actually Hulbert's wife and mainly Underwood's wife, they prepared the food, and that was delivered to the Korean king at the time. And Underwood, Hulbert, and another missionary, they 3 slept together with King Gojong to protect him from, any happening. Let's start, the work starts from here. And also, a lot of the articles he wrote, denunciating Japan. And 1905, he became Emperor Gojong's special envoy to Theodore Roosevelt in 1905. This means like the Korea had protectorate with Japan in 1905 forcefully. So the Gojong denied everything. However, Japan just announced, Korea signed everything. Okay. So at the time, he consulted either Underwood or Hulbert. One person should go to the United States. So Underwood is with more church missionary work. So Hulbert was chosen to go to the United States. So he was the first envoy of Korean emperor. And also, in 2 years later, 1907, in Dutch Hague, there was a peace conference where also for Korean issue to be discussed in this peace conference, Gojong sent Hulbert to the state heads of 9 countries, including United States, UK, and Germany. Like that. At the time, he was also special envoy. And actually, he went to Hague. At the time, Underwood was in Switzerland to be cured. He had some, I understand, some illness, so he was staying there. And the Hulbert went there and meeting with Underwood and also attended this peace conference. However, this attempt didn't go well. So right after that, he left for the United States. If he could have come to Korea, I think he might have been killed at the time. There was danger, that kind of danger at the time. Next. This is one letter I got from the U.S. archives. Seoul legation minister, the ambassador, he's sending letter to his Secretary of State saying, "Be careful with Dr. Hulbert. Dr. Hulbert is going to the United States as envoy of the emperor. So don't listen to him like that." This is the letter. Hulbert and the Korean emperor, secretly, confidentially, they carrying a letter to Theodore Roosevelt. But Hulbert is going to United States, so he needed some help from U.S. ambassador in Korea, because their letter had to be carried by Hauchi. If he hand carries, he might have been killed by Japan. That's what he worried. So he gave this letter to U.S. ambassador. But this U.S. ambassador, he said, "Yes, okay, don't worry, I will get this delivered to Washington, D.C., so you go there, wait." But he gave all the information to Japan, and he also wrote this, letter to U.S. State Secretary. Be careful, this guy. Next. And Emperor Gojong, 1905, after protectorate was announced to Emperor Gojong, he said, "No, I didn't approve this, so I do not agree with this." Then he sent a telegram to Dr. Hulbert, who was in Washington, D.C. So this was filed with State Department. You look at this stamp, Ship Club, December 14, 1905, Department of State. This still is kept in U.S. archives. Okay, next. This is one of the pictures Hulbert taken. This is currently U.S. ambassador's residence, at the time legation office. And this is the envoy, special envoy letter. So by virtue of the power vested in the Korean emperor, blah blah blah, and I appointed Dr. Hulbert as my envoy. This is a special envoy letter. Next. And in Hague Peace Conference, the Japanese document says Hulbert is pulling string. Hulbert is, behind the scene. Korean also envoys, 3 Korean envoys went to Hague to participate in this conference, but in Japan sees Hulbert is pulling the string behind the scene. That's what they said. Okay, and this Korean envoy is Korean emperor. Okay, next. This is very interesting article. This is one of newspaper's article. I do not know still. Look like Harper's newspaper. I never heard of Harper's newspaper. Okay, but I got this from Dr. Hulbert's grandson. Hulbert versus Stevens, a Yankee tilt for an empire. So, Dr. Hulbert, and next picture. And this is Mr. Stevens. Dr. Hulbert, actually, he worked for Korean emperor. This gentleman, Mr. Stevens, he also worked for Korean emperor as the advisor for foreign affairs. However, he was recommended by Japan to be the advisor to Korean, the foreign ministry. And he totally worked on behalf of Japan. So versus Hulbert worked on behalf of Korea. So this newspaper article tells about all the story between two gentlemen. So very interesting story if you read this. So I got this. So I'm going to translate this into Korean within next couple of months. So this is very interesting story. But I couldn't find the original. I just got the newspaper clippings from his grandson. Okay. Next. Stevens, that gentleman Stevens. So in San Francisco, 1908 or 9, he was assassinated by Korean in San Francisco. Then Mr. Stevens. This is another tragedy as a human being. But it means like Koreans really were upset with him. This means. Okay, next. So I explained some of here. One, if you go to National Museum in Yongsan, you can see a stone pagoda there. So stone pagoda that was located in a temple nearby Kaesong, North Korea. Then this national treasure was taken to Japan by one of Japanese ministers. So Dr. Hulbert, he released this news to New York Times and all the international papers. So eventually that stone pagoda returned to Korea. Right now that is being stood at Yongsan National Museum. Someday it should go to Kaesong, I think. And next. This is very interesting picture. This picture, these Koreans are getting killed by Japanese military, military police killed. This picture was filed with U.S. Foreign Relations Committee of the Senate in 1919 by Dr. Hulbert. Actually, this picture was taken earlier than that. This picture was 1904. This happened. So why this happened? Currently, we had a lot of problem with the Yongsan area. Yongsan U.S. Army, that area was originally, that was Chinese Army, the camp, and also later Japanese Army camp when Japan had a war with Russia. And after Korean liberation, U.S. Army camp, that Yongsan area. Then, so this area was confiscated by Japan, but they didn't, pay back even penny to Korean owners. So Korean owners protested to that. Then that's the reason, that these Koreans got killed. So this picture was filed with U.S. In Foreign Relations Committee. Very tragic picture. Next. This text, about Dr. Hulbert's, say, humanity. At the time, Japanese came to Korea, 1904, 05, 06, like that. Then, for some reason, Japan anyway took your property, and they are, initiating fighting, and for some reason, oh, you are wrong, so I should take this. So many properties were taken by Japanese to themselves. So many Koreans came to Dr. Hulbert, please, this is my property, and title should be in your name. So Hulbert, one big bucket, those documents were in big bucket. It means how he was trusted by Koreans. Also, how brutal Japanese was at the time. The next. Yeah. Also, this is same Ito Hyofumi, the first Japanese governor. He is, pleading to Japanese governor. If you treat Korean equally, then I will quit denouncing, Japan. That's what he said. This is stone pagoda. Okay, next. Still, after being exiled in the United States, he helped with Syngman Lee, first Korean president, and Sejapil, Jason, what's his name? Philip Jason, and until 1945, he worked together to restore Korean independence. And next. This is the interview with New York Times. Sure, Korea will fight. Japan will obtain peace there only by the dissemination, the decimation of the people. So to him, Koreans really will fight back to you guys, to Japan. That's what he said. And while in U.S., he was very against Theodore Roosevelt. He believed the U.S. got Philippines and instead and gave Korea to Japan. This Tactical Treaty, everybody knows that. So he was always resisting to the President Roosevelt. This also New York Times article. I always carry this with myself. How he resisted to Theodore Roosevelt. This is 19 filing with U.S. Senate Foreign Relations Committee. Next. This same still you can see. Yeah. This is one of the pictures. You might have not seen this. This is Dr. Hulbert in 1942, Ohio. This is Syngman Rhee. They are working together for seeking the approval of Korean asylum government at the time. And 1942 in Washington, D.C., Syngman Rhee, Dr. Hulbert is here. This is Syngman Rhee's wife, Mrs. Rhee. She's from, actually, her nationality was Austria. Okay. I do not have time to explain to you. Actually, to talk about Dr. Hulbert, you need, I'm given, I understand, 1 hour, but 10 hours is short. Okay. The Korean emperor placed deposit, at Deutsche Bank in Shanghai. At 1903, at the time, the amount was about $150,000 at the time. It's currently how much? If you, at the compounding interest of 10%, now it amounts to how much? More than $2 billion. Okay? So that money was deposited. And Korean emperor asked Dr. Hulbert to go to Shanghai and to get the money back. So he went to Shanghai. So money was already taken to Japan. So Hulbert in United States, he worked to get the money back, but he couldn't get the money back. Now the task is on me right now, so I'm working on that. You may see the news in at latest 1 year about this story. Okay. This is the emperor's power of authority to Dr. Hulbert. This is 미국인 Hulbert. That's what it says. This is a Japanese, German ambassador. He's German bank president. He signed over here, I'll give you money only to Korean emperor. But he didn't. See, His Majesty the Emperor of Korea. And this is the receipt of a Japanese minister who took the money, 1908. Next. Okay, the Dr. Hulbert, the letter to Syngman Rhee. You should get the money with interest back from Japan. And 1949, he returns to Korea. At the time, 1948, Syngman Rhee became, Syngman Rhee was also one of his students in Daeje High School. And he became the president, and Syngman Rhee knows who Dr. Hulbert is, and they worked together in the United States. So invited him to Korea. 1948, actually, August 15, Liberation Day. However, his wife was sick, so he couldn't come. So next year, he came to Korea in 4 years. And he passed away, a week after arrival at Incheon. So now he's buried in, Yanghwa-jin Foreign Cemetery, Dr. Underwood and many missionaries buried there right now. And he got the Country Foundation Medal in 1950. This was the first medal given to foreigner. Okay. So right before he passed away, this is Appendela's daughter. This is, okay. This is Syngman Rhee giving a funeral speech at the funeral service. Funeral service was also government arranged. 사회장 means like quite high funeral process. Okay. And actually, the Korean, the Hulbert Memorial Society named him who loved Korea more than Koreans. I picked several words he had. Though sleep is the image of death, it is not death, he said, the passing of Korea. That's what he said to Koreans. So ask the Korean, don't give up and stand up. Okay. And also, Koreans are neither good merchants like Chinese, nor good fighters like Japanese. They are far more like Anglo-Saxons in temperament. This is one of clause in the passing of Korea. Actually, I was, attracted by this paragraph when I was in college. Okay. Oh, just before. One thing, the point of similarity with the Chinese are the exception, and that the survivals of things purely native and indigenous are the rule. This is when he, I think Gale, many of you know James Gale. So when he had sort of a debate with Gale about the Korean culture, he had used this paragraph. This is U.S. paper. I always stand for Korea until I die. That's what he said. Okay. This is my life story. I got this from Danmo's the library. The love of Korea is my most precious possession. That is what he said in Danmo's. I mean, in Korea we have homecoming days as well. But if we have any homecoming day ceremony, you go there and just drink and come back and like that. But in the United States, it's Denmark. They have tradition living something about your personal life story. So this was what I found from Dartmouth University, and that's what he said. I have been fighting for love of Korea is my most precious possession right now. But how he's viewed. One Seoul University professor, Lee Hyun-bok, General MacArthur, if General MacArthur saved Korea from communism, Dr. Hulbert put Joseon on the list of civilized races. Oh, no. Africa. If you are Korean, you should not forget his contribution to Korea even for a day. This is An Jung-gun. Many of you know An Jung-gun. He addressed this right before he got executed in the Russian China. An Jung-gun, who assassinated Ito Hiromi, first Japanese governor in Korea. This is the Korean Emperor's personal letter to Dr. Hulbert. This is the Emperor's personal handwriting. And this is the English translation. So over here, the Emperor's seal over here. So I got this from Dr. Hulbert's granddaughter. So really, this is the only one of this seal. So this is national. This is registered as national special document right now. Children all born in Seoul, but these two gentlemen came back to two sons came back to Seoul, 1980s. Okay. Mr. Sir. Family picture. This is very lovely picture. So I invited this lady, granddaughter, and these grandsons to Seoul. And this is his personal letter to his mom in 1886, right after arrival in Korea. He wrote the letter to his parents and his brothers and sisters almost every day. Unbelievable. So we keep about 600 these letters. Way more than that. Lost a lot. So his beautiful handwriting. So then the Hulbert Memorial Society that established in 1999. Why I'm doing this? Okay. I think for Koreans, we have to thank him. That's first thing I'm doing this. How thank him? Give him money? No, I am very poor, so I cannot give him money. However, we have to place him in Korean history properly. It means if he contributed to Korean alphabet this much, Korean history should record about his accomplishment this much. Not more than that, not less than that. So the purpose is to place him properly as much as he deserves to be in Korean history. That's the first thing. So after Syngman Rhee died, Mr. Hulbert, Dr. Hulbert was totally forgotten in this country. Because Japanese, 1907, after 1907, his books all burnt, and his name never appeared in Korean history. And people age under 60, even after 1945, didn't know who he was. So when I first knew him by book in when I was in college about 38 years ago, I at the time determined to do something for him, and that's why I established this Hulbert Memorial Society. So I want to thank him by placing him right place in Korean history. And also, secondly, he really, I think he can be the real role model. I said earlier, he's the man of justice, man of humanity, man of integrity. So, for young kids, for youth, I think he can be a real great role model, not only in Korea, but also in other countries. That's why I'm doing this. Next. Activities, what we are doing, you know, I'm having memorial service every year since 1999, August 5th. The Peter Underwood is attending many times and thanks him. I really thank him for that. And also, if you go to that, Yanghwajin Cemetery, his name on the tombstone has been vacant for 50 years. So proposed it to Korean President Kim Dae-jung and obtained his handwriting. So with Kim Dae-jung's handwriting, now if you go there, it says in Korean, Hulbert Baksa의 묘. So the Hulbert's tomb. This is Hulbert's tomb. What it says right now. Many things. And most importantly, the end of last year, Dr. Hulbert, the Korean government is picking one person every month as the Independence Patriot of the Month. But about 23 years, Korean governments have been doing that. But they never picked a foreigner as Independence Patriot of the Month. Never picked a foreigner. So I, pleaded to the government for 10 years. So eventually, last year, they selected and they honored him Independence Patriot of the Month for July, towards this July. So in this July, we'll have some commemorating activities for him. So this is first case in Korea. And also, the Seoul city government, right here, the Sejong Cultural Center, right behind Sejong Cultural Center, there is a small park. So then it will be called Korean alphabet, Hangul History, park. So where Dr. Hulbert's statue will be erected. This is first statue of civilians erected by Korean government. Is the American soldiers, generals, the statue there, and the Horace Underwood statue there in school like that. But by the government sector, the first time is statue. Still, I think I have lots of things to do. Memorial hall and publication of a collection of Hulbert works, many things. Just like, okay, this has been vacant for 50 years. This is Ambassador Thomas, Ambassador Hulbert, you remember his face. What I'm doing has nothing to do with the U.S. government at all. However, I always advise them what I'm doing. So some ambassadors, they really appreciate me and they pay very strong the interest in this. Some ambassadors very show apathy and ignorant of that. So the 14 years, about 6 or 7 ambassadors I have experienced, pro-Korean ambassadors, they never pay attention to this kind of activities. But native ambassadors, the Caucasian ambassadors, they pay very strong interest in this. I was very, very surprised at that. All right. This is his great-grandson. I invited him in tour 4. That's Jeffrey Jones. And tour 10, I wrote a book, Crusader for Korea. This is the book I wrote 2 years ago. And this book was awarded, Book of the Month by Korean Publication Ethics Committee. And after that, actually, Hulbert is more known to Korean people, so I'm very happy with that. Okay, next. All right. I don't know. Actually, I tried to shorten time, so I rushed to finish this. So sorry. Okay.
Thank you very much for your fascinating presentation. May entertain a few questions. We are a little, we don't have much time, but maybe 2 questions. Okay.
Thank you for your speech. I had a question. You said after 5 years, his contract to teach in Korea was terminated. Was that his choice, or was
the terminated? Actually, that's the wrong terminology. That he even didn't really. The U.S. legation minister didn't do the right thing for him, because some Korean government officials at the time really did not like this school, because if the Korean government officials who are pro-Chinese, they didn't want to have this school in place. So those guys wanted to stop this school. But this Dr. Hulbert, he was against that. So he wrote a personal letter to Korean Gojong. We should revamp this school. We should make this bigger, this better, like that. So there was some fight between Korean government officials and Dr. Hulbert and American teachers. Then the Korean government did not pay enough salary on time and did not give a house. They asked him to move to another house like that. At the time, U.S. minister should have done something in between, but they didn't do. So Dr. Hulbert couldn't stay here, over here. That's why he left for United States.
Okay, one last question.
First of all, thank you for your presentation. I just had a quick question. Who is the U.S. ambassador that informed the State Department that Hulbert was coming to the Hague?
His last name is Morgan. I worked at J.P. Morgan, but his name was Morgan. Okay. Okay. Yeah. One thing I would like to let you know. Any questions?
Okay.
So there were 3 teachers, Hulbert and 2 more?
Yeah, the three teachers came together. The Hulbert, Gilmore, and Bunker. Bunker is Westminster. And Gilmore, he left after 2 years. His wife really made a complaint on that, so they left. So one thing over here, I didn't tell you about my goal in the future. Mr. Hulbert, he was honored as he got the Korean Country Foundation Medal in 1950. However, in North Korea, they didn't honor him yet. So I visited North Korea 2008 to honor him as the Independence Patriot. So I gave him all the materials, and they were very receptive to my proposal. And they're supposed to give me something. They're supposed to do something in 2009, but the current Korean government, they stopped the relations with North Korea. So I couldn't communicate with them anymore. So if new government allows me to visit North Korea, and I may do that. I met twice with North Korean guys on this Hulbert, because I'm persuading them, you guys must honor him, because look at his accomplishment. So what he did for Korean race overall, not only South Korea, he visited North Korea, Pyongyang. In the past, no division to fight. So North Korea, I think they know what I'm doing. So North Korea, the National Board of Social Science, they are studying on him right now.
Okay.